get past the first couple of things, they're always the same.
Same thing all the time, right? Yeah. Get to the meat of it. Or the comments maker. Already?
Okay, you call this meeting to order. Council members, this will be an open meeting, and notice has been given to the public at least 24 hours prior to the meeting to the forwarding the complete agenda to the Oconto County Recorder. Copies of the complete agenda are available for inspection at the office of the city administrator. With regards to the 6 p.m. public hearing before the council with the following agenda, petition for kennel license from Bruce R. Dorner at parcel number 265-311-931-61971-238 McDonald Street. The planning commission has denied that petition for license. So we will move on to the balance of the meeting. Roll call.
Mayor Cliff Martin,
Here.
Daryl Anderson, Steve Don Levy, Bob Brock,
Here.
Riley Soul,
Here.
Lori Stenstrop, Dan Zeller, Attorney Paul.
Okay, we move on to number 3. By the sole invocation and pledge.
Dear Lord, bless our beloved city. Protect us and keep us safe through the storms ahead. Help us to make the best choices for our community moving forward. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the agenda as stated. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carried to approve the agenda. A motion to approve minutes as presented from the city council and any special council meetings.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried to approve the minutes. Moving on to number 6, public input.
Mike Felt 172 Ruby. Before I start, thank you to everyone for your service to the community. I would ask officially that my comments be entered into the record. My comments are specifically directed to you, Mr. Mayor, in regards to your pledge of transparency in city government. I submitted an ethics complaint against the city alderman that was subsequently denied by the ethics board. I did not have high hopes that anything would result from the complaint, but thought there would be at least some sort of formal reprimand, especially seeing you had personally observed similar behavior from this individual at meetings. However, just watching the obviously orchestrated forming of this committee, the proceedings and your official response, which was no probable cause to proceed, I was amazed. To be clear, it's okay for an alderman to verbally attack a citizen unprovoked, but citizens can't be allowed to question the people whose salary they pay. First, perhaps you could tell me why you would appoint someone to the ethics committee that has misrepresented themselves and lied to the true citizens of the county. Second, then allowing this individual to be elected to the vice chairman position is pretty unbelievable. Speaking of that, I find it interesting that our former mayor tried several times to persuade our municipal judge to serve on the ethics committee and was turned down because of possible conflict. However, after your election, accepted the role and was even involved with establishing guidelines for the committee. With the committee established, it became difficult to even schedule the meeting, right? Because it was important that it fit into the judge's schedule with disregard to other members' schedule. It became obvious why this was done when it came time to elect the chairman and vice chairman, basically stacking the committee leadership and control its direction. Next, it was decided to add elaborate new rules to be implemented that would require the city to change the ordinance to fit the rules instead of just following the current ordinance. It would also result in the complaint process taking several months to play out, with discussions being in closed session instead of being addressed immediately. Being the complainant, I requested that the issue be discussed in open session and that individual on the committee that witnessed the event recuse themselves from the view. Neither request was granted. Finally, when the committee convened to close session to review the complaint, it was interesting that neither myself or the aldermen involved were part of the review. You would think that getting both sides of the story would be the best way to decide whether the complaint was valid. Not so in Oconto. At last week's committee, the whole meeting, you commented on discussions from the Utility Commission meeting in regards to special testing for chemicals that needs to be done. I'm wondering why you didn't share the discussion on the situation with the tariff that the city has not been equitably charging individual property owners for the police and fire protection. This came to light when the city was targeting the yard property and got called out. This tariff is regulated by the State Public Service Commission, and the city had a May 3rd deadline to notify property owners to ignore the deadline. I'm pretty sure the average property owner that may be impacted by this has no idea this is coming. Some other thing you may want to look into: why are some city employees allowed to throw their garbage away at the recycle center and not have to purchase blue bags like all other citizens? Why were citizens' complaints filed over a year and a half ago never addressed? Why is abusive conduct by city officials allowed to happen and continue while comments of citizens be deemed unacceptable by those city individuals? It was brought to my attention that an employee of the city of Oconto contacted the Oconto Falls City Administrator, requesting time to tell their side of the story involving the yard. City Hall basically ran them out of town and now are still trying to prevent them from going to another community. Why? Doesn't Oconto have enough issues on its plate? Why does someone representing the city of Oconto need to interject their opinions on another municipality? My final point is in regards to discussions you and I had about me serving on committees. Correct me if I'm wrong, but my recollection is that you said together we could make some positive improvements in our city. However, you chose to listen to the advice of those individuals that have been cited in my comments. I believe you would be better served moving forward and trusting your own instincts to best serve the citizens of Oconto that voted you in instead of serving the interests of City Hall. Another comment, Dan Zeller, do you remember our discussion about positive?
Time's up. You have a copy that we can put with the minutes?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Any other public input? Any other public input? Any other public input? Not, we move on to number 7, correspondence. Any correspondence? Carol?
Yeah, I had one person, talk to me about, the driveway going into the city, or the segment.
Yeah.
If there was anything we could patch that up a little bit.
Oh,
Holds water and irrigation like we're using for a while. I think we might have, I don't want to speak for Jeremy, but we haven't had any street project where, but we will have one coming up with regard to Spies Road, and I think then that offers, because it's a fairly large patch that we're talking about.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So I got
Any other correspondence? One more time, any other correspondence?
I just wanted to say Courtney Stoll sent me a letter to be read for handed out on their public input, so that is on your.
Okay, with no other correspondence, we move on to approval of consent agenda. Number 8. Approval of application for temporary Class B license to the O'Connell Oaks Club, Lodge number 887, for Rumble on the River on June 28th to 30th, 2024.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but since this is the first time with this council going through a consent agenda, we're gonna read through these, and if there's any of them that you wish to have pulled, just indicate that when we get to that letter. To the extent that the rest of them would all be approved as a group, one motion, as opposed to doing the motion individually like you did last time.
Approval of application for temporary Class B license from the O'Connell Oaks Club number 887 for O'Connell City Water Fest on July 3rd, 2024. Approval of original alcohol beverage license application from WTB Holdings located at 918 Main Street, an appointment of agent of Jeremy Westerberg. Approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Andrew's Sidetrack located at 522 Broadway Ave, an appointment of agent Angel Dean. Letter E. Yes,
I wrote that down.
we're moving on to letter F. Approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from WTB Holdings located at 918 Main Street, an appointment of agent of Jeremy Westerberg. Approval, letter G, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from JK Squared Corporation located at 106 Superior Ave, an appointment of agent of Jack W. Carden. Letter H, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Cabello located at 818 Main Street. Letter I, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Jeff Turchek Investments, LLC, located at 900 Main Street, an appointment of agent Jeff Turchek. Letter J, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license applications from Lost Trace Memories, LLC, located at 106 Smith Ave, an appointment of agent of Julio Ferrero. Letter K, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Michael Erickson located at 301 Collins Ave. Letter L, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from O'Connell Elks Lodge 887 located at 310 Farnsworth Ave, an appointment of agent of Robert C. Schwartz. Letter M, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Patriots Pub and Grub located at 126 Huron Ave, an appointment of agent Christine Reed. Letter N, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Play by Play LLC located at 211 Superior Ave, an appointment of agent of Walter Jacob Kowalczyk. Letter O, approval of original alcohol beverage license application from Fire and Water LLC located at 805 Roswell Ave, an appointment of agent Marty A. Approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Pearl U located at 124 Chicago Street. Letter Q, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from the Dockside Incorporated located at 1302 Harbor Road in appointment of agent Raul Zuri. Letter R, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application for Colleen J. O'Neill located at 1200 Main Street. Letter S, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application for Good Place Lane LLC located at 1128 Main Street, an appointment of agent Michelle Good. Letter T, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from the Common Yacht Club Incorporated located at 1781 Yacht Club Road, an appointment of agent of Robert Williams. Letter U, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Due South LLC located at 150 Howard Lane, an appointment of agent of M. Bruckner. Letter V, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Hometown Grocers Incorporated located at 722 Gravel Ave, an appointment of agent Nicole Malak. Approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Greens Reflex Incorporated located at 911 Main Street, an appointment of agent of Lynn D. Lebret. Approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Chris Oil Incorporated located at 907 Main Street, an appointment of agent of Chris D. Tanasaw. Approval, letter Y, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from Quick Trek Incorporated at 102 Main Street, an appointment of agent of Shirley Lynn Martin. Letter Z, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application for Leo Beverages LLC located at 211 Main Street, an appointment of agent Park Raju. AA, approval of renewal alcohol beverage license application from True North Energy LLC located at 517 Smith Ave, an appointment of agent of Michelle A. Knox. Letter BB, approval of accounts payable for the month of April 2024 in the amount of $3,124,173.66. Payable for the month of April in the amount of $166,989.36, and other financial reports as presented. Letter CC, approval of 2024 warrant permit.
There's actually two guidance on this, regarding the email that I sent about the oversight of the information for the ed. What do we need to do to make sure that it's updated on the information? So do I need to make a motion to amend this? I'm not sure how that needs to go, what do we need to do?
What would you like to amend?
Well, it's not included on the minutes here, but on the report.
The motion was to talk about it at the June meeting.
Put it at the June
The completion of what the recommendation was, so we don't need to include that?
But the only other recommendation that we do not have on the agenda, so there's no other meeting to go to. So there's no motion that needs to be made.
Yes, Bob. I'll make a motion to approve the minus E.
Yes, sir.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Gerald Anderson,
Yes.
Dee Donlevy,
Yes.
Bob McGrath,
Aye.
Riley Soul,
Aye.
Lori Sentra, Dan Zeller.
Motion to approve. Passed. Going back to letter E. On last Friday,
there was an incident at PJ's Bar down here on the corner, where multiple cities were called in, including Lena, Pownell Falls, the county, and our city. So this is a letter dated May 20th, 2024, to the Pownell City Administrator, Ricky Burrow. The Pownell Police Department is requesting that BJ's Bar 2024 to 2025 liquor license be issued on a probationary basis for a minimum of 1 year. This change of status is due to an incident on May 17th, 2024, where a large bar fight occurred, resulting in 4 police departments having to respond. During the investigation, the bar owner was uncooperative and disrespectful towards law enforcement. Submitted by Cassie Dufek, Chief of Police.
My recommendation, probably, if you would consider, obviously, with regard to the renewal, it could be an ordinary, or if you were considering probation, we definitely need to get notices with regard to this to the owner. My recommendation would be a motion to put this over to June. There's time still to deal with this. We're talking about the renewal, which goes into effect on July 1. So there's still time in June, and we need to give her notice, and she may want to comment with regard to this. This is all happened within, obviously, the last 3 days.
Yes,
That'd be my recommendation.
yes, Bob.
I think we need to do a better job of when we develop these licenses. When they bring in their paperwork, we should be giving them basically this whole chapter on liquor license. The one signed piece of paper that they got, whether they read it or not, it's up to them. But then they will know exactly what's happening, what charges they can get. Also, I want to look to this, I went the whole chapter, there is a point system that you can use. It's just with merits, you can 25 points, basically for failure to supervise, underage. You can use that point system as well as to, because you only have certain more points. You can go to too much for it. Do something good, too much for it, not too much for it. Especially ordinances, I mean, maybe we need to start doing things together with you and the paperwork, maybe copy this. Because that's up to them, it's their business. Getting a license is free, it's not a right. If you take it away anytime, if you do not follow the rules. So this is something that we should be looking at, on signed paper, saying they got it, and they read it or not. At least they know what it happened.
Thank you. Any other discussion?
So what does probationary mean? If they get one more call, they would lose the license? What is the ramifications of this?
Just, it gives us more power, I guess, in the potential of terminating that license. Because we have done probationary before where the applicant was not had the best record in the past on other ones. And it gives us an ability to pull that license.
This,
There's a little problem.
this wasn't a normal bar fight. There were 8 squad cars there, so they could only transport 8 to jail because you can't put more than one in the car.
How long is the probationary for?
You said you wanted to, basically, you.
So,
That would be set by the council when you discuss it.
The police chief recommendation will be your,
yes, Bob.
Actually, after they're on probation, or even their point system, every time they're off, like, super come back. And the city, if you do it again, depending on what type of offense it is. So that's a.
Yes, sir.
Has there been any other problems over there?
There's been one underage, fake ID, which the officer on duty at that time pulled the ID. Any other discussion or comments?
I make a motion to hold this off till June for the decision.
I'll second
I'll make a motion to hold this off until June, the June agenda.
Okay, roll call.
T. Donahue.
Aye.
Bob LeBrecq.
Aye.
Riley Soul.
Aye.
Lori Stenstrup.
Aye.
Dan Zeller.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
it. Aye.
Motion carried to move the license to the June vote meeting. Number 9, discussion, action, recommendation on the following. Old unfinished business, none at this time. Moving on to 10, discussion, action, recommendation on the following new business. Number 8, approval of an ordinance regarding revisions of the government and administration ordinance in the municipal code of ordinance to the city of O'Connell, the finance committee composition. You all have a copy of that? Yes, sir.
I guess my question would be, who was pushing for this change or, I know I had lobbied kind of hard when we were creating the city and finance committee to, have it, be another lesser than full council. And at the time, I had a whole number of reasons, which I guess I'll just remind people, because I'm opposed to the change. But it was because I had looked at Vestio and Marinette, all the neighboring communities, and the majority of them had a smaller number than the entire council on there. And the reason, part of the reason was we didn't want to, there was, at the time, there was some council members who weren't as interested in being on that committee as time restrictions, and modeling after some of the other communities. Also, state government has a select few on the finance committee. There's really not a need to have everyone on there. Basically, you're relying on the expertise of the smaller number of people who are, I guess they have a better background or experience in that, and not necessarily having to drag some of the other people who may not, we all have different strengths and weaknesses. And some people are better suited to be on this committee or to be on that committee. And the point is that changes. And over time, I appreciate that if everyone on this council wants to be on that committee, I appreciate the interest in that. And I know Bob, who wasn't on the committee in the past, would come and attend meetings, and I thought that was excellent as well. But looking forward to the future, if we may have a different body of council members, there may be someone else who, like the last week, there was a couple people who said, I'd rather not, because it's a lot of numbers, and I'm good with numbers, it's an extra hour and a half worth of my time, I'm already on all these other committees. If we have these trusted individuals who are gonna look over, it, just like we do with our Board of Public Works, or like we do with our other committees, that have new representations on it, and we let them go through, because they're arduous meetings, we go through the line by line, basically, on these reports. And I think it's a big ask to say everyone needs to go to all of these finance meetings. Just from a time, energy, and putting the right people in the right places. There's a couple people that could sit that one out, take everyone else's, trust their expertise on it, and then still have the chance to approve or not approve at these council meetings. So I just think it's an extra burden on potential future council members who may not be equipped to, or interested in that community. I know I did my use which impacts to get it to that small number. So I'm opposed to it, but I'm glad we have it back. I'm glad everyone's interested in, I'm glad we've had the additional participation, so it's really just a, not good.
Thank you. Yes, Steve.
Two things. One, if we go to referendum to increase the size of council, now we're adding potentially 4 people to the committee. And I'm just gonna quickly, we'll do the 2 that are putting that on there, and then the 2 that would be coming in.
Correct, same thing with wage and personnel. Wage and personnel indicates that it's all council.
So what is the benefit of adding additional people?
I guess it was kind of get more input, and maybe we don't need that input in the right hand.
Yeah, more input's a good thing, but they don't have to be there, like Bob chose to come to almost all of them, I think. And we were involved in it, and that was great, but we didn't have to be there. So, it's same for now, the way it is now, you know, the councilmen who aren't on it can come and listen and participate, and be fully informed on it, or they can choose to sit that one out and then just come to the council meeting and trust the rest of the group that looked at all that stuff. And that would be good.
But understand, even though Bob would come to the meeting, we could listen, Bob couldn't speak. He's a member of the public, and everybody's there. And, you know, and again, I guess I would say with regard to our ordinance and stuff, the finance committee is in charge of, you know, that's the first step really in putting together the budget, and that's something that we're all.
Yes, Bob.
In the original ordinance, you had 6 for wage and personnel, and 6 for finance. Actually, you did have an extra person, you had 5 people, because you had a line person. So you actually had 5 people in finance. Not this last one, but years before that, you actually had 5 people. So what's the difference if you have 60? You're only adding 1 there.
Well, when it's not employed, so it's full board.
So you still have an extra eye, you still have someone that could participate.
The point is, I was just looking at,
Basically, what happened when we had created the area in the city, we would have, for a while, there, I believe we had 5 on each one. Now we have 2,
We have 10.
and 5 and 5. Well, then we have to come in and rehash everything we did in finance and wage and personnel for the people that weren't there, because we were 5 and 5. If you have 6 and 6, everybody's on the same page. Well, I understand that. That's up to those communities.
Yes, Steve.
Is there going to be negative feedback on the performance of the finance committee as it stands? For anybody on council?
No, I'd just like to know who you think that you know more on. You say there's some better than others.
no, it was in the past, so I know Patsy had said that it wasn't her opinion, and she did, and then, Steve Stocky even said that he wasn't a big numbers guy, it wasn't his thing, so it has nothing at all for me not wanting anyone on it. In fact, I could see a future where there were so many really financially savvy council members that I would maybe at that point not be as interested in being on that committee myself. Because if I knew that there was, you know, a bunch of CPAs up on the council here 10 years down the road, and I wouldn't want to be on that committee anymore, I'd let them handle it, and then I would come back and whatever. So you gotta look bigger down the road. It's not just our group that who's in it right now, who's not in it, it's the future of, because everybody needs to go through line by line every single time on that meeting, especially when it's not par for the course as far as neighboring communities, state government, national government, our own current subcommittee makeup, with the exception of the committee of the whole, which is called committee of the whole, so it's supposed to have everybody on it. So I'm not opposed to having people on it, though. I promise, I think more input is generally better, but I also understand that there's a lot of other places doing it a certain way, and they've got reasons similar to the reasons I just expressed.
Any other discussion or comments? Yes, Ray.
I guess just also with this ordinance, I would like to see who is sponsoring it, if it's, whether it's you, because I know in the past, we also went through a lot of, we haven't been perfect on it, but when ordinances get introduced, there should be a sponsor of the alderperson or the mayor introducing that ordinance. And it's supposed to be written on there so that we know kind of who it's coming from, and that's for the point of transparency and accountability to the voters, so that they can see that who their deal was, so that if they didn't like it, if it whatever, they could kind of remember who to accountable for.
I am the sponsor. I have my name on the bottom also.
Okay.
I am the sponsor.
So then that's, what is your,
Well, I guess just for myself alone, I would want to better understand the budget. And I can tell by Dee, when she's talking, she knows what's going on there. So I just, you do a good job, Dee, you do. And I just thought it'd be good for all of the council people to better understand what's going on in the budget and understanding the finance better. And that's why I decided to sponsor it. Yes, Steve?
Just to Riley's point, like I said, we had several people that came back, which said, and John McCuck, it's not their real house. And it was the deer in the headlights, look, when you put this information in front of them, they didn't have no clue what a general ledger account number was. Had no clue about debits and credits and looking at this stuff, so was it a benefit to have them there? Did they learn something? Probably yes, but honestly, I think it slowed down some of the progress because they really did not, that was not their background, it was not kind of their strength. So I guess on any of these committees, I think Cliff, I had a conversation with you, what do they bring to the committee? What is their strength? What do they bring to the committee? And I'm not opposed to having additional people that bring stuff to the committee, but not that we have to continue to teach people over and over and over again, if that's not something that we're really interested in.
Yes, Bob?
I don't know if we have to go one by one, because basically I got my packet on Thursday, I had gone through all of the expenses, of the expenditures, the revenues, within an hour time. So when I came to the meeting, I already knew what I was going to talk about. So for us to go line by line, is why it's taking an hour or more. Or we used to be able to be on the wage of personnel, and the finance committee would do anything. Because basically, everybody had different questions. And that's basically what we looked at. We looked at certain things, utilities, gas, something that was out of the ordinary, someone new that had never been out there before, or something that just brought you a huge amount of money, that kind of something that pops up. So as you actually do your homework, you're prepared. You write your, he does, I do, things whatever, second down, you should be able to have everybody have an opinion and still have it in a turn.
Any other comments or discussion? Dee?
I'm gonna speak for, I don't think you really intended that, I mean, we do our due diligence before we come to this meeting, as we should. And we should look and identify as we do in the meeting, item number, page number, you know, we found a couple of human errors that are on there that are gonna be fixed, and it's not a big deal, and it was caught. And that is because we are doing our due diligence, looking at this on our own time, and just bringing and following up the things that are of concern at the meeting. So I think we are doing what we should be doing, and I don't think we're missing anything as far as, you know, and I guess I ask you, Mayor, what is your goal for this committee then? What is your hope for the committee?
Well, really look at the finances like you did in the last meeting. And again, I just think it's important that everybody understands it, because just helps to make better decisions. If you folks do it differently, that's your call. I mean, just trying to make sure, or hopefully get people more educated on finance and ordinances and so forth, so. Yes, Steve?
Dan, can I ask, when I had to do that, when I had to do the packet, how did you feel about that with all the information? Did it overwhelming?
At first, it is, yeah, but I mean, you go over it a couple of times and I'll agree with Bob when this first time I was on the finance. And you get your packet and you look for different things, you know, if there's something out of line or what you, anything you ask. I mean, I don't see a reason all of this is my personal opinion. I'd like to see all of this.
You'd like to see all of that? Any other comments? Yes,
I was on finance committee 10 years ago.
sir.
It was 5 of us.
How many council members do you have?
10. It was on wage and personnel too, 5 of us.
Any other discussion on this item or comments?
Is the ordinance well for four? And how does the ordinance read it?
Mayor and four.
For council members?
Mayor and four council
That isn't how it was.
members. Those are not voting.
But that wasn't.
Okay, discussion?
Discussion, motion, what do you want?
Yes, Jack.
I'll make a motion that the whole committee, or the whole council is on next meeting.
You got a second?
Second.
Abu Graf,
Aye.
Riley Soul,
No.
Lori Stenstrup. Aye. Dan Zeller.
Aye.
Daryl Anderson.
Aye.
Dee Donlin.
No,
Okay, motion carried. Thank everybody for your input, appreciate it. Moving to 10B, petition for kennel license for Broussard Tournament at parcel number 265-311-931-619-712338,000. That was denied by the planning commission. Certified survey map for Tina Marzewski in Birch Branch properties located in the city of O'Connell. Yes,
All the certified survey maps that come for you for approval, obviously go through the commission, get approved, but we also, when we get them, send them to the county and they double check that everything is correct, there's nothing that needs to be fixed. If there is, we send it back, they fix it. So there's no technical errors with these, that's not what you need to approve, but, this homeowner couldn't meet setbacks, they wanted to build, and they couldn't meet setbacks, so they purchased 10.5 feet from their neighbor. So a certified survey map was needed to be done to reset that boundary line.
So we need a motion to approve that, right?
Yeah.
Motion to approve the survey map for Tina.
second.
Riley Soul.
Aye.
Lori Stenstrup. Dan Zeller.
Aye.
Daryl Anderson. Dee Donlevy. Abu Graf.
Moving on to 10D, certified survey map for Newcap Incorporated located in the city of O'Connell.
This one, they're splitting the property there into a lot one and a lot two, so they can build a home on lot one.
Some bigger thing. Great question. Yes, Bob. Newcap. Built for by lots. This also goes back on tax holding. Almost every home that Newcap builds is not like, or any property we buy is not on the tax bill. It's exempt.
And we have discussed that with Newcap in the past. Basically, we have a understanding with them now is that they will not be retaining these, so they end up tax exempt. So my understanding is they're gonna build here and when they it's intended to be sold.
Have they sold any yet? So-
Yeah, most of the, I think all of those on bidder, some of this predates. Yeah, those that they had along Bitters Ave and stuff, I believe all of those now have been sold.
What about the details? Is that the same way you want?
I,
I'm just wondering, because it'd be nice to have them back on the tax roll, it helps not only the city with all the taxpayers, but, you know, even some of the buildings, not using the tax exempt. So we're not gonna listen to them doing the town halls or wherever they are, but, I mean, it was hard to even get them to pay for their services. Years ago, they wouldn't even pay for services, because they were tax exempt.
I believe most, if not all, of New Cap properties have now been sold, other than, say, like, their building here downtown, which is tax exempt, but they have kind of moved out of it. That was one of the things that we were reviewing when they were looking at that large piece of commercial property out there and developing is how that was going to be dealt with also.
Justine?
So when you say agreement, do you have something like in writing that we can move on this certain amount of time, and is it like a handshake agreement, or? So why would we do that? Is that the best thing for the city to have a handshake?
They still own
agreement?
the property though.
They own the property at this time. They're just indicating in which to build and then turn the property.
But we can't put like a timeline on it, to make sure it moves forward, if we get it sold to you in November.
We have to meet with them. We have to meet with Blue Cap and.
Is that a bad thing?
No, no, it's not a bad.
No, it's usually, we do that in development agreements. It's usually where the city would be selling somebody a parcel and then it has to be developed within a certain amount of time. I mean, they own this piece already.
I was just looking back on the gentleman who bought the land out there for landscaping and kind of fell apart and whatever, and it's kind of less landstill now. You know,
Has nothing to do with us.
No, I know, I'm just saying, if there's something that we can encourage them, if they've got time and they move this property that back in the past, there's something that would be good.
Let me put it this way, we're not getting anything off of this piece right now. So we're allowing them to split it, hopefully build a home and turn it into a taxable piece, you know, so.
That was basically my question, because is it gonna be, is the home gonna be there, they're gonna live on it for a while, or whatever it is? Or
They've gotten out of the rental.
something else, exclusive of that specific.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Lori Spencer. Aye. Dan Miller.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Dee Don Levy.
Aye.
Bob LaBrus.
Aye.
Riley Soul.
Moving on to 10A, recommendations from the Ethics Board, rules, procedures for the Ethics Board, according to ordinance section 2-5-948.3.
The ethics board has only met once back in 2014, and it wasn't on an incident. So there was no rules of procedure in place. Ordinance 2-5-9 states that they need to put policy in place. So this outline was actually borrowed from a different municipality, who I work with. Sometimes I thought it was a great draft. It's a large municipality, so they've had a lot of ethics complaints, and I thought it was a very good draft, so I brought it to the committee to kind of get them started so they could have something to go off of. It's hard to put procedures in place when you don't have a complaint, because then you're not really sure what you need to do. And then they went over it line by line and made changes as they thought were appropriate.
Do you have any questions or comments?
I was at that meeting, and I think they went over this pretty good. They put a pretty good set of rules together, so I'd like to make a motion to accept.
A second?
Before, I'll second Daryl's, but before I do that, I just wanted to let everyone know the days that we put in here, we shortened everything by quite a bit from the original. The original one that we got had a very long time frame of how many days to reply, how many days to respond, everything like that. So what we tried to do is we tried to shorten that time frame to get things moving a little faster, to get both sides followed up on faster, things like that. So as example, on part B where it said meet within 30 days, if I recall the original, so that's on part B number 1, if I remember the original was like 60 days or something like that. So we shortened everything in here. We also put in here that the letters that we're gonna be sending back and forth to individuals are going to be either certified or hand-delivered from one of our local police officers, so we know they get the letter, things like that. So we did tighten up a little bit of what was original. And like they said, we went through with Cheryl, who line by line, item by item, paragraph by paragraph on this. So I will second Daryl's proposal. I just wanted to, for a motion, I just wanted to clear that up a little.
And a motion and a second? Okay.
Dan Miller.
Yeah.
Daryl Anderson.
Aye.
Dee Donlevy.
Aye.
Bob McGrath.
Aye.
Riley Soul.
Aye.
Lori Spencer.
Aye.
Okay. 10F, recommendation from Harbor Commission, approval of the 3-year harbor development statement of intention. Yes.
This is something we file with the DOT every year. I'm told it just helps us be more receptive to receiving grants.
Motion to accept the recommendation.
Any discussion?
Daryl Anderson.
Aye.
Dee Donlevy.
Aye.
Bob McGrath.
Aye.
Riley Soul.
Aye.
Lori Spencer.
Aye.
Dan Zeller.
Moving on to 10G, recommendation from the Utility Commission, approval of invoice from Robert E. Lee in the amount of $21,817 for the wastewater treatment plant improvements.
Is this coming out of, monies that we got already for longer, anything, or we want some money?
Correct. Yep, the utility fund.
Dan, probably do it. Second. Brett.
Dee Donlevy.
Aye.
Bob McGrath.
Aye.
Riley Soul.
Aye.
Lori Spencer.
Aye.
Dan Zeller.
Aye.
Daryl Anderson.
10H, recommendation from the Building Inspection Ad Hoc Committee. An ordinance regarding revisions to the zoning ordinance and the municipal code of ordinance of the city of O'Connell. Accessory use of structures, storage, shipping containers, and temporary camps. Yes.
The building inspection ad hoc committee met this morning on this ordinance. They did not make a recommendation, so we can just bypass this item. They will be talking about it again next month, and they'll have an ordinance prepared for you at that time.
Yes, Bob.
Can I ask you something? Why is this going to be, I had to be considered really ad hoc, because basically ad hoc is something that's not going to be there forever. It was basically formed to help out our building inspector, our police chief, and our fire chief when it came time to inspect our cities. You know, basically fix up homes, you know, so anytime you have an ad hoc, it doesn't mean it's gonna be there forever. I think if you're gonna change ordinances, especially zoning, you should go to the planning commission, not be ad hoc.
I agree. Who wants to touch on that? Okay. This came up this morning, okay? And we don't disagree, okay? The reason that this started coming up and being an issue was as we were, say, Lucy and Jeremy was going around and looking at problem properties. Then this question of number of accessory buildings, the temporary tent-like structures. So it started as one thing and it's evolved somewhat. And to the extent that this is going to be a change in the ordinance, we were trying to develop it and ad hoc still have that in view. If the change in the ordinance is likely to have to go to plan commission, and then we'll come here. So the other thing that was discussed was the idea of making this a permanent committee and spelling out, what the duties of this particular committee would be versus planning commission, etc. This ad hoc committee has been going on for
2014,
and so it's kind of one of those where, okay, it has its purpose and is good, but it's time probably to create the ordinance and make it a standing. So both of those things, or all of that, I should say, were discussed. Don't disagree. And don't disagree with Daryl, who also brought up the same thing.
Okay, no real action on that. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Correct? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried and adjourned.